The NBA trade deadline is on February 8th, so trade speculations are expected to heat up, but as of right now, Donovan Mitchell doesn't appear to be among the names that could be sold in the interim. Although there are rumors that the Heat are keenly interested in the star guard, experts don't expect the Cavaliers to trade Donovan Mitchell this season. Is Donovan Mitchell leaving the Cleveland Cavaliers? Despite Cleveland's apparent lack of desire to try and transfer Mitchell, NBA source Mark Stein revealed last week that Miami had a bona fide interest in trying to trade for him. All of this is happening before Mitchell becomes available to sign a maximum contract extension with the Cavaliers this summer, which could bring his annual salary up to over $50 million. However, it is unclear if he would want to do so. Cleveland's approach to considering a possible trade involving the star could alter based on Mitchell's position, given that Mitchell is unquestionably their best player and they are currently fourth in the Eastern Conference going into their schedule of games. It would seem illogical for them to investigate that possibility. This season, Mitchell's averages per game are 27.9 points, 5.7 assists, and 5.5 rebounds. The NBA player made a blockbuster trade with the Jazz to arrive in Cleveland in September 2022. In his first season there, he helped guide the Cavaliers to the postseason with a 51-31 record. But the Knicks crushed them in the first round. Any Cleveland playoff run may influence Mitchell's decision in the summer when he would be eligible to sign the maximum contract. Undoubtedly, Mitchell had a specific team in mind when he was dealt, and that was the Knicks. The Cavaliers must accept the possibility that a deep playoff run is no longer in the cards this season, with all-star guard Darius Garland out due to jaw fracture and 2022-23 all-defensive first-team member Evan Mobley due to arthroscopic surgery on his left knee expected to miss at least 4 weeks apiece. Mobley's expected recovery time is 6 to 8 weeks. Donovan Mitchell, an all-NBA guard, has 2 years left on his deal before a player option enables him to explore unrestricted free agency in the summer of 2025. This has an impact on Mitchell's future. In September of last year, Cleveland had to decide whether to trade Mitchell in order to recover some of the draft picks that were traded to the Utah Jazz in exchange for him, or to pursue a walk year in which Mitchell may win a championship. The Cavaliers may need to make that decision sooner rather than later in order to optimize Mitchell's trade worth if they feel that injuries have already ruined their chances of winning the 2023-24 season. Is Mitchell the correct selection for the Cavaliers to return next season? It would be unconventional for Cleveland to maintain Mitchell without one the next summer. Only 3 players have become unrestricted free agents in the last 2 free agency classes, Bradley Beal and James Harden in 2022. And Kyrie Irving in the previous summer within 2 years of making an All-NBA team. Compared to Mitchell, all 3 of those players were in very different circumstances. Beal had spent his whole playing career with the Washington Wizards, re-signing in free agency after signing 2 extensions when the terms were better. Both Harden and Irving made the decision to re-sign after receiving trade demands and joining new teams at the prior deadline. Going back to the 2018-19 season is necessary to establish a more accurate comparison for Mitchell, since many teams had upcoming free agents who they knew would look elsewhere at the end of the season. With 2 seasons remaining before hitting free agency, the Boston Celtics signed Irving, while the Toronto Raptors signed Kawhi Leonard, who was about to enter his walk year. The Golden State Warriors were defending 2 titles with former MVP Kevin Durant on the team, but his free agency hung over them. Every one of the 3 teams thought they were championship candidates. The Raptors and Warriors advanced to the finals, where Leonard guided Toronto to a championship and won Finals MVP before leaving for the LA Clippers in free agency. The Celtics collapsed against the Milwaukee Bucks in the second round. During the offseason, Durant and Irving signed joint contracts with the Brooklyn Nets. Durant injured his right Achilles against Leonard's Raptors in Game 5 of the Finals. If the Warriors and Raptors had the same chance to win a championship, they most likely would. Boston's season was overshadowed by rumors of Irving's leaving, and the team did not perform as well as was anticipated in the postseason. In retrospect, trading Irving might have been a better decision. There have been instances in the past where stars have shocked us by remaining stationary. Similar to Toronto, the Oklahoma City Thunder signed Paul George in an attempt to win a championship before his final season before entering free agency. In 2018, after losing to the Jazz in the first round of the playoffs, Oklahoma City was able to re-sign George to a long-term deal. In exchange, George demanded a trade to join Leonard with the Clippers the next summer, but the Clippers refused to give it up. Nevertheless, the past is evident. It only makes sense to hold on to a star or add one for a walk year if there is a genuine opportunity to win a championship. That's a difficult one based on what the Cavaliers have shown us so far this season. What is the market for Donovan Mitchell? The Cavaliers' best argument for remaining patient would be the potential for a deal including Mitchell that would yield comparable value the following summer. Here, there are a few things to take into account. As of right now, Mitchell is without a doubt the biggest player available for trade, which would heighten the competition amongst teams hoping to sign or extend him. The Nets, Knicks, and Heat in particular belong to that category. However, because teams need to have space on their rosters to accommodate all the players they acquire, assembling a blockbuster deal in the middle of the season can be more difficult. With an available roster slot and 2 more players, Sam Merrill and Tristan Thompson, on non-guaranteed contracts, Cleveland should be able to overcome that obstacle. It's also unlikely that any team will need to piece together numerous contracts to equal Mitchell's $33.2 million star salary. With Evan Fournier's $18.9 million salary, New York almost reaches that mark. Brooklyn could employ Ben Simmons for $37.9 million or Spencer Dinwiddie for $20.4 million as the centerpiece. Miami has Tyler Herro for $27 million and Kyle Lowry for $29.7 million in that range. Given that Fournier's contract is functionally expiring because it is a team option, and Dinwiddie and Lowry have expiring contracts, it may be simpler to trade with these teams at this time, depending on the structure of the agreement. The Heat and Knicks share the same sentiment on their wish to acquire Mitchell before the 2024 postseason. These clubs are in a position to directly qualify for the playoffs because they're both ahead of the Cavaliers in the East standings. Although neither club would be close to the favorite to emerge from the East in a conference where 2 teams, that are Boston and Philadelphia, have differentials of plus 9.0 ppg or greater, adding Mitchell may mean the difference between winning a round and losing it. The Nets, who are buried in the East play-in picture aside from Cleveland, probably have less of a hurry. However, any team that signed Mitchell now would have the entire offseason to reassemble the team around him, as the Phoenix Suns did when they added Durant from Brooklyn during the trade deadline last summer. It's difficult to determine if the Cavaliers should trade Mitchell right away until we hear how much interested clubs are ready to pay. However, it's becoming more and more clear that Cleveland would be remiss to miss the deadline on initiating trade talks. Are the Los Angeles Lakers interested in getting Donovan Mitchell to their team? Kobe Altman, general manager of Cleveland Cavaliers, reportedly instructed competing general managers to lose my number in reference to a Mitchell trade. And the Cleveland Cavaliers have stated that they intend to finish the season with Donovan Mitchell. But the player's name continues to surface in trade rumors as the deadline draws near. According to ESPN's Dave McMenamin, the Los Angeles Lakers are the latest team to purportedly show interest in Mitchell. The Lakers have talked internally about packaging 3 picks and players they already have on their roster to pursue a true star, like Donovan Mitchell of the Cleveland Cavaliers or Trae Young of the Atlanta Hawks. Team sources told ESPN, according to a recent article by McMenamin. What do you think about the reports that Donovan Mitchell is leaving the Cleveland Cavaliers? Do you believe Donovan Mitchell will be able to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers? Do share your opinions on this in the comments section. For more interesting stories and updates, subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon for notifications. Goodbye.